Thursday night, the same day as Halloween.
Con.
So you cannot make that. Right? The battle of the holy day versus the helly day, the hell day. You know? So definitely, it's definitely it. Yeah, man, we just maintain, family. We just maintain. Keep up with the good word, good fight. Learn, apply, grow, reflect, self-examination.
God.
You know? You want to say something, Shemaya?
Just wanted to know how brothers and sisters celebrating Halloween this year.
So like, I buried some eggs last week. I'm waiting for Esau to come through though.
You egging them out, King?
Gotta get them. Nah, I'm just kidding. Good thought though. But
Con. So we celebrated like we celebrated every day with these these wicked days. We pay them no mind.
God.
Matter of fact, we act like they don't exist.
God. Nobody fell for the bait.
So like,
Crazy.
so
Yeah,
like,
okay.
you know what make it so bad? That the on one of them hell days is when the house got burned down. The next door neighbor, I've lived in a duplex townhouse. The next door neighbor was doing the Labor Day thing, and that's how she burnt the houses down. She put coals out on the side of the house, barbecue,
Oh, wow.
celebrate that hell day. But the thing about it is, like, you know, the owner trying to sue her for $100,000, and she ain't really have nowhere to go. You know, Most High, all praise to the Most High. You know, I went to my mama's house. I had a mama that's standing in the gap, and really, you know, I'm starting to think that was purposely done to get me out of that area. I was in a bad area, you know.
Yeah, and that's crazy, y'all. Because even in calamities like that, in tragedies like that, the Lord is always making a way for us. You know, and
Con,
sometimes
that
what happens,
like
yeah,
con,
you get too comfortable where you at, and then something got to hit the fan before you say, "Man, I'm getting the hell up out of here."
con, con.
Yeah.
Because it really just it didn't get me bad as it got her. It really just got me bad with like a lot of smoke damage. Like I lost all my fabric stuff, and you know what I'm saying. But like she lost all her stuff. Like, and I used to tell her all the time about the truth. I used to, you know, she used to come over when I was reading in the Zoom class sometimes, and I tell her about the truth. So she knew what was going on. She knew better than to be celebrating that day. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's all gravy.
God. Well, yeah, we could start.
Con. Okay, Shalom, family. This class is going to be a little breakdown of Israel and the financial up and down. We're going to go into a little bit of some prosperity and adversity that some of our people face, and some of the same things that we face today. But there is always an answer for them. There is always a remedy when you go through these scriptures. One of the first things I want to say about when you go into finance and prosperity and adversity, sometimes the advice we have to take heed to who we take advice from. And I say that like this. If you need a surgery, you're not going to ask your mechanic how you should have a surgery. You got to go to that same person of that profession. A lot of times we take advice from people that's not even that profession. You know what I mean? They give their opinion without backing of what they think. And that's how a lot of times we get in trouble when we go to people who just give what they think. And a lot of times when you're taking advice from people, if you look into it, they haven't done those same things themselves. So we have to be careful, especially financially, who we take advice from. So we're going to start off with, let's get Sirach 11 and let's go to 14.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 11. You say verse 14, sir?
Con.
When everybody got to say con. Prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Lord.
That's the first thing we got to realize. Whatever we get, whatever we lose, it all comes from the Lord. It is not of you. Yeah, you may put in the work. Yeah, you may put save towards something, but it all comes from the Lord. You know what I mean? That's good and bad. It's not of yourself. Now let's jump down to 17.
Verse 17. The gift of the Lord remaineth with the ungodly, and his favor bringeth prosperity forever.
So when you in this truth, as long as you guide towards that right way, it says prosperity is going to come to you forever. Now, a lot of us think prosperity just comes with riches, immediate riches. You could be real healthy and be prosperity. It doesn't always mean money. And of course, we know when we stay in this truth, our main prosperity is going to come at the end. Our reward is the kingdom. That's some of the main things we want. Yeah, we want to live good on earth, but living good on earth and not getting that kingdom, it was all for naught. Now let's jump down to, let's go to 21 also.
Verse 21. Marvel not at the works of sinners.
Now,
But
marvel not, my fault, Salak, y'all. We know us as people, we like to idolize the entertainers, the rappers, the movie thing, the movie actors and all that. But a lot of time they ain't living righteously. So the gifts they get, it's not of the Lord a lot of times. And it's also as a lesson. Go ahead, finish it out.
But trust in the Lord and abide in thy labor, for it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich.
See, you could be poor one day, and within an instant, the Most High can make you rich overnight sometimes. You know what I mean? So I know a lot of us work a lot of these jobs and we not, it doesn't fulfill us at this moment or it ain't getting things taken care of. But that can change through the Most High within a blink of an eye. A blink of an eye, that can change easily with no problem. So sometimes we got to keep that faith. And a lot of times we got to keep pushing forward, even though that job may not be paying a lot. What you save and what you put to the side can build you towards that prosperity. Let's go to 1 Timothy 6 and 5.
This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 6 and verse 5. When you got it, say come.
Come.
Perverse disputing of men of corrupt mind and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw thyself.
Every time somebody gains in this world, it's not always godliness. And one thing we can realize, a lot of times when these people gain, sometimes what happens in the end? A lot of times they get caught up in this taxes. A lot of times they get caught up on the bad things they did. So a lot of times we think wealth is happiness. We think that's what we want. a lot of times, you know, the Most High may be keeping you from getting that wealth because he knows you might not know how to handle it. See, a lot of times it's not about just being wealthy because sometimes a lot of us can't handle wealth. You know, just imagine if we got like some of us got $1 million or make it $10 million. Would you stay in this truth? Would you still be that same person you had without that $10 million? You got to ask yourself. You know, a lot of times we think in wealth, it equates with happiness. And a lot of times that's not the case. Let's go to Job 1 and start at 1. And we're going to go all the way to 3, then we're going to jump to 9.
This is the book of Job, chapter 1 and verse 1. When you got it, say Khan.
Come on, bring it out, Ak.
There was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job. And that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared Yahweh and eschewed evil. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels and 500 yoke of oxen and 500 she asses and a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all the men of the East.
So Job was a rich man. You know what I mean? But you look and say, he was probably one of the greatest men in the East with his sin. You know, he had, 3,000 camels. Job was a rich man. So the Most High was still in, but let's finish the story. Let's jump all the way down to 9.
Verse 9. Then Satan answered the Lord and said, Doth Job fear Yahweh for naught?
Go ahead.
Has
Go to 10 too.
not thou made an hedge about him and about his house and about all that he hath on every side, that thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land.
Go to 11.
But put forth thine hand now and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face.
So the Most High and the devil having a discussion. He telling them, yeah, you blessed Job. You gave him all these things. But take that hedge off him. Make him a poor man. And I guarantee you, he going to curse you. He won't be that same man as he was with these riches. And sometimes, that's what I just said, sometimes the Most High know a lot of us, when we get that prosperity, we turn into a different person. How many times we have seen a person when they come into money, they ain't that same person they was when they was broke or just average. You know what I mean? And this is a good example of Job. Now let's just go to Job 2, chapter 2, and let's go to 3.
This is the book of Job, chapter 2 and verse 3. When you got it, say Khan.
Come.
And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause. And Satan answered the Lord and said, Skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath will he give for his life.
Keep going.
But put forth thine hand now, and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face.
Now jump all the way to 9.
Verse 9. Then said his wife unto him, Dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse Yahweh and die.
Now, Job lost everything now. I'm just, so I get my fault. Job lost everything. All those riches we just talked about, and he still held fast. He never cursed the Most High. His wife even told him about integrity. His wife is even trying to get him to curse the Most High. Job still held fast. He still never did it. You have to ask yourself, how many times, a lot of times when people get money, they pray for it, but when they lose it, are they that same person? Do they still praise the Most High? Do they still think highly of him? A lot of times we got to look at it. I'm still living regardless. I'm the same with this and without this. I'm that same person. A lot of us as people, we don't act that same way. Sometimes we get a little bit of money, like $1,000 or $2,000. That bring a change in some of us. And that's not a great amount of money. But we're going to jump to Proverbs 28 and 22.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 28 and verse 22, when you got to say, Con, all praise it. He that hasteth to be rich hath an evil eye, and considereth not that poverty shall come upon him.
See, like you just said, sometimes when you haste to be rich, you want to be rich so much when you get that. And when poverty come about you that different person. You turn evil. You're not that upright person. Because guess what? A lot of times what happens to a lot of people when they get rich, everybody want to be around them. Women, you got all the friends in the world. You getting all these favors. But what happened when that coin flipped? When you don't have that money? Where everybody go? A lot of times you see who's standing true with you. Those same people when you was up, when you get down, you can't. Sometimes they know where to be found. They lost in the mist. They don't want to be around. They not there for you. They there for that ride. They there. Oh, he got this, so I'm with him now. Oh, now you don't got that. They ain't answering your calls. Where you at? Let's go back to. We're gonna go to Sirach 2 and 4. Or let's go to Sirach 2, and then we're gonna jump to 4.
My favorite passage in the Bible. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2. You say in verse 4?
Let's go to 2 first.
2 and 1?
2 and 2. And then we're going to jump to verse. No, don't read 3. Go to verse 4.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 2. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate.
So just because we working these jobs and they not paying what we think we could pay, you got to keep pushing forward. You still have to save a little. You still have to put a little bit to the side. Just because your job ain't paying all that much, it depends on how you budget it. Just like I was bringing out earlier, there's a system when a lot of us, we have say we have a lot of bills, correct? But there is a way to pay your bills down accordingly. It's called the avalanche system. You take your smallest bill. Either you could take your smallest bill, you pay that off, and then you go forward. Then you go to the next largest one after that. Then you go to the next largest one after that. There's also another way you could do it. They say you can do it by the percentage rate. But I like the avalanche method because it's a sense of accomplishment. Now, I'm not saying that you don't pay your other bills. You pay the minimum on it. But that smallest bill, you take your money, you pay that one off. Now you got a sense of accomplishment. You pay that one bill off, and then you move on to the next. You do the minimum. Every month you do that. Then that next bill, that's maybe the lowest. It may be $100. You pay that one off, and you pay the minimum on your other bills. Now you done got 2 bills paid off the way. Now you got a leeway to work. Now you have more free money. Let's go back to Job 42 and let's go to 10.
This is the book of Job, chapter 42, and verse 10. When you got it, say come. All right, I'm going to
Come.
go ahead. And the Lord turned the captivity of Job when he prayed for his friends. Also, the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had before. Mm, mm, mm.
Keep going. No, I'm
Keep
going to
going.
speak on that. See how when Job stand true, he withstood that. And guess what the Lord did? He gave him twice as much as he had before. Because he was the same when he was a rich man, he was the same as he was a poor man. He never changed. He stayed faithful to the Most High. And that's what we got to do in these financial times. One main thing, we have to stay true because he's going to take care of us in the end. We got to have that faith. Go ahead and finish the rest of that out.
That was the end of verse 10, verse
Oh, go
11.
all the way to finish 12 out.
Verse 11. Then came there unto him all his brethren and all his sisters and all they that had been of his acquaintance before, and did eat bread with him in his house, and they bemoaned him and comforted him over all the evil that the Lord had brought upon him. Every man also gave him a piece of money, and every one an earring of gold.
Hold on 1 second. Ain't that just like our people? Soon as he go back into the money, guess what happened? They come back around. People start coming back around. When he was down, there nobody was to be found. But as soon as he got money back, everybody started coming back around all of a sudden. Go ahead, go to 12.
Done. So the Lord blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning, for he had 14,000 sheep and 6,000 camels and 1,000 yoke of oxen and 1,000 she asses. He had also 7 sons and 3 daughters.
So all
And
that he lost, so I get my fault.
oh,
All
go
that
ahead.
he lost, the Most High doubled it in the end, just by staying true. So to say that, to say this, we going through some of these financial hard cases, but if we stay that pace, the Most High is going to give us double in the end, the same way he did Job. Job never knocked him, never cursed him, any of that. He stayed true. He stayed that same man. And the Most High rewarded him in the end. He gave him double everything. Everything he lost, he got twofold. He got it all back. Let's go to Tobit 4 and 8.
This is the book of Tobit, chapter 4 and verse 8. When you got to say, Con.
Come on.
Con. If thou hast abundance, give alms accordingly. If thou have but a little, but be not afraid to give according to that little.
God. When you have something, if it's a little, give what you got. Because a lot of time with our finances, what happens when you give? You get that back. Sometimes twofold. Go all the way to 21 now.
Verse 21. And fear not, my son, that we are made poor, for thou hast much wealth. If thou fear Yahweh and depart from all sin, and do that which is pleasing in his sight.
Con. Right there. It says if you do everything and have fear in the Most High, He gonna take care of you. You just have to have that faith, and you gotta fear because He's gonna take us. He's gonna take care of us financially, but you also, like I say, you have to do those things. You have to do your part also. You have to save. You just can't go on spending sprees. You have to save a little. I know it's difficult, but it all starts off small. Sometimes, what's that? A redwood tree starts small as a seed. You got to plant that small seed. You got to put that up. to start off small. And eventually, in the end, your wealth is going to grow big. Let's go to Mark 12 and 41.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 12, and verse 41. When you got it, say come.
Come.
Done. And it reads, and Yahweh sat over against the treasury, and behold, and Salakia, and beheld how the people cast money into the treasury, and many that were rich cast in much.
Keep going.
And there came a certain poor widow, and she threw in 2 mites, which make a farthing. And he called him his disciples, and saith unto them, verily I say unto you, that this poor widow hath cast more in than all they which have cast into the treasury.
Can I finish that last one?
For all they did cast in of their abundance, but she of her want did cast in all that she had, even all her living.
Can I, the point we were saying earlier, when you give, this lady, she gave everything she had to their congregation to help build. Even though they were rich people in there, she gave, Yahweh said she gave more because she gave her last. She gave everything she had to the church, everything to the congregation, everything to help build this nation. And a lot of times when we have money, a small amount, we don't want to give anything, even if it's a small amount. That small amount helps build. But just like we seen in Job, when you give or you do something for the Most High, he's going to reward you in the end. You're going to get that back. He is not going to let his servants come up empty-handed for doing that work. He is going to reward you. You're going to get something back with that. Let's go to Psalms 37 and 25.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 37 and verse 25. When you got it, say come.
Come.
I have been young and now am old. Yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken nor his seed begging bread.
Come one more time.
Now am old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread.
Read 26 too. I want 26.
He is ever merciful and lendeth, and his seed is blessed.
Okay. Like a lot of times when we're young, we think old age is a long way away from us, or getting older is a long way away from us. A lot of times when we're young, we go on spending sprees. We just spend like there's no tomorrow. But right here, when I'm thinking it says, I've been young, now I'm old. I have not seen the righteousness. What do animals a lot of times they do when they know winter's coming? They save up, they prepare, they put things away. They put that food away so they can last for that winter. And a lot of times as young people, we don't prepare for when we get older. We don't save. We don't put that amount up. And as us that's a little older, we know when you get up in age, you don't want to be working. You don't want to really work when you're 60, 65 and all that, unless you want to. You want that end part of your life to be a lot easier. So a lot of times in this country, what do? When we're young, we party, we spend all our money. We don't put that money, we don't store for our winter ages. We put everything we got, we spend it like there's no tomorrow. And you see that a lot of times with like a lot of these older people, where they working, Walmart. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, But a lot of times we don't prepare. This is about failing to prepare. And us with finances, we don't do our finances correctly. A lot of times we just spend. We like things, we buy it immediately. What I'm saying is just like the animals do for the winter. Put a little bit away. What they tell you, put some up for a rainy day, because that rain gonna come. Even if it's a small amount, that small amount, it builds over time. Now, don't dip into it and don't go put it back. What I do is, like in my savings, if I happen to take something out, when I put it back, I how we say, I penalize myself. I have to put 10% back more. So if I take 100 out, I got to put 110 back now. That penalty for me taking that out, because I still want that part to grow. I never want that growing part to stop. I want that to be a continuum. Now let's jump back to Job 36 and 15.
Hey, Khan, Shalaki King.
Khan.
Another good way to penalize yourself when you take that money out and you have to put back, send me an extra $25.
Okay, well, hey, that's like working. You working for nothing, huh?
I'm just trying to help you, King.
Hey, and that will work, though. That will work. Hey, and I appreciate you helping me out. Now, let me ask you this. When you dip into yours, will you reciprocate that same amount?
I don't penalize myself.
Oh. Okay, I got you.
You clown. This is the book of Job, chapter 36 and verse 15. When you got to say, Con.
God.
He delivereth the poor in his affliction, and openeth their ears in oppression.
Once again, the poor, you're going to get delivered in your affliction. We're going to get delivered out of this, because our riches don't necessarily come in this kingdom. Yeah, we want to live good, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't live good. We should live comfortably. A lot of times, like I say, when we get that abundance, a lot of us, we don't know how to handle it. And that's because it, like I say, the our own curses a lot of times. You know what I mean? So right there it says, he delivereth the poor in his affliction. And listen, it says you should open your ears on oppression. When you're going through these times, you should look at yourself. Like I say, you should, okay, I may be short a bill, but why am I short that bill? Did I go out and party? Did I spend the money for that bill? Did you learn from that, the bill before? You know what I mean? A lot of times we short our responsibilities to have a good time. Sometimes we have it, I think, in reverse order. Sometimes if we pay the things we need to pay ahead of time, then we have that time to reflect and have a good time. I'm not never telling nobody not to have a good time. But a lot of times as us, Israel, we ignore our responsibilities. A lot of times we say, oh, well, should I take care of it when I take care of it? But there's a lot of things when you save, there's a lot of opportunities come about when you save, when you have the money up front. A lot of times people miss opportunities. And I'm gonna say an opportunity like, if anybody remember when the housing crash happened. A lot of these houses was basically how they call it on sale. They was giving these houses away for nothing. But if you didn't have that money to pay for a house outright, for not saving, for not seeing that, you missed out on that opportunity. So that's what I always say, kind of save, because opportunities come around. When these sales come around for anything, food, cars, or anything, if you save, if you prepare, you can take advantage of these things. Let's go back to Sirach 26 and 4.
This is the book of Sirach 26 and 4. You got to say, Con.
God.
Our praises. Whether a man be rich or poor, if he have a good heart toward the Lord, He shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful countenance.
Con. That was the same thing like Job. Whether rich or poor, he still rejoiced. He still was the same. He never, how they say, he never got off his square. Because I guess eventually I think Job knew, if I go through this, the Lord blessed me with this the first time. So why wouldn't he bless me again? He the one who gave me all that. And sometimes we got to see like that, things like that. Even though like some of us, I know a lot of us, we had certain things and we lost it, but you got to think about it. The Most High gave me this. And he gonna give me this again. I just gotta endure. The endure part is the most difficult part. The get back, the falling down, coming back is the hardest part in anything. Financially, if you want to lose weight, if you want to get in shape, that getting back part is the most difficult part that we face. That's when you got to be the most disciplined. When it's getting those things back. And that's the hardest part, being disciplined. But if you in this truth and you doing that, you should know how to be disciplined to a certain extent. Because we discipline in this truth. Every time you go into camp, week in, week out, that's showing discipline. So you got to have that same discipline towards your finances. Let's go to 2 Corinthians 4 and 17.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians 4 and 17, when you got to say, "Cuz."
Okay.
For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory.
God, in this affliction, going through this working, just like the brother brought out through Egypt, our glory is at the end. Our glory does not come on earth. I know we want some of the glory of earth, but a lot of times that's short lived. We working for that ultimate glory. We working for those ultimate riches, and that's going to come at the end. Yeah, like I say, once again, of course, the little financial thing here, we want to live good. We want those things, but those things like are of the world. Sometimes we got to get out that worldly mind, and it's really hard to do sometimes because you see other people with things, this car, the nice clothes, eating good. You want those same things too. But there is a way to get those things to eat good. You just have to put that little bit to the side. You know what I mean? You may have to save up for that car you want. It may take you a little bit longer, but you can get it. You may have to save up for that house you want. If the worst come to worst, you might have to get a second job if that's what it takes. Or you have to dig into yourself. What can you do? What talent do you have to do something on the side to bring in that extra income, to bring in that second amount of money, second or third sometimes? You know, a lot of times then we can dig into each other. Who has a game plan to have something to come out? You know what I mean? A lot of times within your cities, brothers and sisters got a lot of talent. I always was taught like this. And a lot of times, like I say, we think it's just all on us to get that financial plan. Sometimes if you go in with another brother or a sister, 50% of something always beats 0% of anything. Sometimes you can join in with a brother and sister with their plan. They may have a good plan, but you may have that financial to get the plan started. You know what I mean? You just getting your piece of the pie. Here, I'll join in with you. Write it up, this and this and this. I'll do this part, you do this part. Let's go to Luke 14 and 28.
This is the book of Luke 14 and 28, where you got to say, "Khan."
Come.
For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first, and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it?
Sometimes We go into a plan and we don't plan it out. We just want to do it real quick. We don't actually be like, okay, well, like just say example, I want to go into real estate, but do I have the money? Do I have where I'm gonna get the guy, somebody to fix the plumbing? Do I have an electrician? Sometimes we buy the house, but we don't have those other things around to fix it up. Or even like, for example, you may want to start selling cars on the side. Do you know how to fix the cars? You know how to change the oil? You know how to work on the engine? Sometimes we go into a plan half done, half did. And what happens to a lot of our plans? They sit on the side. You may buy a bunch of cars, but now you don't know how to fix it. You don't have nobody to fix the engine. So not only did you didn't plan out this investment, now your money just sitting dead on the side. You actually lose it. We went into this with no plan. Just I seen something, I wanted to do it. I didn't plan it out. I didn't walk it through. A lot of times when we invest, the wise thing is to start small and build your way up. So a lot of times when you invest, it's best to start small because if, like I say, just for example, if you started off with one car, a small car, just doing it, even if you take a loss or it takes you a minute to get it completely running, it's a small amount that you have to put in. You didn't buy 6 cars, and now you got to get 6 cars all fixed and running. That's a lot of times with us, we don't start small. Let's go to Luke 15 and 12.
This is the book of Luke 15 and verse 12 when you got to say kind.
God.
Kind. And the
Come.
younger said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto them his living.
Now, this is like I think going into, a lot of times when you have something, a lot of times people don't want to pass it down to their kids because they waste it. They don't know what to do with it. A lot of times we don't teach our kids finances. A lot of times we don't show our kids, if we are invested in things, a lot of times we don't show our kids, well, this is what you have to do. You do this way. You have to go this route. A lot of times what we do, you see that with a lot of older people when they give their kids the house. What normally happens? They lose the house to taxes or they don't take care of the house. The house falls apart. You have a parent that's probably worked 35 to 30 years paying the house off. And that next generation, they lose it. They think of it as nothing. They don't put that hard work in. They like, well, it's just the house. So I mean, I didn't have to pay for it. We don't show that next generation how to build that wealth, how to pass that wealth down the line. And a lot of times it's with us. It's a selfishness with us because I didn't heard a lot of people say, well, I had to get this on my own and they'll get it on their own. I can't think of that scripture offhand, but what is it? It says that's a man's duty to make sure his son or daughter, you pass your wealth to your seed, that next generation. Like I said, a lot of us, I didn't heard, well, I got it on my own. They have to get it on their own. But like I say, that's one of these curses right here. But that's how wealth is built a lot of time. A lot of time, wealth is not, sometimes it is, a lot of times it's not made, it's passed. A lot of times wealth is passed, and you see that with the other Nate, they pass it. That's one thing we got to get into, passing that wealth. A lot of times it's just us. We don't pass it. We don't teach the person behind us how we accumulated that wealth and how to keep that wealth.
Salaki, King.
Con.
Quick precept, Proverbs 13 and verse 22.
Con.
Yeah, you could bring it out, Yazian. Proverbs 13 and verse 22. Is he on mute?
So, like, I'll bring it out till you get back. If you feel
God, I was on mute. Read the whole scripture and everything. My bad. This is
Con.
Proverbs 13:22. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the
Con,
wealth
con,
of the sinner is laid up for the just. So like,
con. The water, that's what I was looking for. A lot of us, we don't pass. It says a good man passes wealth to his kids. We don't do that. But we not only do we don't pass it, we have to show them what to do with that wealth. Just like you show your kids how to walk. I put it this way: just like a lot of us, we show our kids these bad habits, but we don't show our kids these good habits, how to pass that wealth. Like I say, I just seen a few times where older parents, they leave the house to the child and the child loses the house. Basically a free house that he didn't, a parent didn't work 30, 35 years. Within 5, 6 years, the house then got ran down. Not being just small things, you know what I mean? But that's the way wealth is built. A lot of times, wealth is not made with that person; it's passed through generations. And you just got to imagine how much wealth we didn't lost by not passing it to the person behind us, or sometimes the person in front of us not passing it to us. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of times, some of us are unlearned, and sometimes we see it that this person is going to destroy what I built. But a lot of times, like I say, we don't teach the person behind us. Like I said, I done heard people a few times, well, I got this on my own, that's on them. That's a wicked way to think. This is your child. You know what I mean? Like the brother just read, basically telling you a good man passes it to the person behind. Just imagine everything we accumulated as a people if it was passed. We would be in probably a better position as a people. Let me get Proverbs 29 and 18.
this is the book of Proverbs 29 and verse 18. When you got it, say con.
Con.
come on.
Oh, you got that pretty quick, huh? I'm praising.
Con.
Whoso walk, whoso walketh uprightly shall be saved, but he that is perverse in his ways shall fall at once.
Proverbs, that's 29 and 18.
So like yeah, that was 28 and 18, my bad.
Okay, no,
So
you
like
good.
where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he.
God. What we just read, where he said Proverbs, when you pass it, when you pass that down, a lot of times we don't have to go through those same problems. But like I say, a vision too. Sometimes we have to have a vision with our money, with our property. We have to have a plan set in place. What happens when I'm not here? It was a video. It was a young brother. He had a daughter. She had to be 8, 9, 10. I don't know if anybody showed can remember it, but he was showing his daughter what to do if he ain't there. She she knew every weapon he handed it to her. She knew what to do if the police came around. And the thing he told her, he said, "If I'm not here, what is your job?" And she said her job was to fill in and take care of her brothers and sisters. She knew what to do just in case he wasn't around. A lot of times we don't have that vision. We don't prepare the person behind us what will happen if we not here. So that person, a lot of times, they not prepared financially. A lot of times you find out with, especially with like the youth today, some of them don't even know how to pay a bill. They don't know how to take care of any housely duties. They would be completely lost. So even if that wealth is passed, it'll be destroyed because they don't know what to do. They unprepared, no vision by the person in front of them. Let me get Romans 13:7.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 7, when you gotta say con.
Con.
Con. Render therefore to all their due, tribute to whom tribute is due, custom to whom custom, fear to whom fear, honor to whom honor.
Con. I picked that one because, like I say, a lot of times we have to have honor amongst ourselves to trust that person behind us that they willing to do with our finances that we do. We have to show that next generation the way, just like we're doing it as truth. We're trying to build our people up. It's not only a build spiritually, physically, it's all around the build. And like I say, financially, we what did they say? It was a statistically, they say we like own 1% of the wealth in this country. And they said we own that same percentage of wealth when we got out of slavery. They said as a people, we have not moved in over 400 years. And of course, I know there are millionaires and all that, but if you honestly look, they doing things mostly as individuals. I'm talking about us as a people, us as a whole. We own the same amount of things we did when we came out of slavery. I think it moved. I think it said from 1.5% to something to one. It is the same amount. We own the same. We have not moved as a people. And now, if you look at it, it's getting even worse because now they putting us in a position where we won't own anything. Like I say, in the housing market, you got to they putting the majority of us as renters. They don't even want you to own. Like where I'm at, it was a point in time where you can get real estate here probably at one point in time. I think I was buying houses for like $1,200, $2,000. Now that like once people then found out, they done moved this houses up to like 150, 200,000 for just regular small houses now. Back when that era, when the housing market had crashed, even before that, it was pretty easy to own property here. Not even in the city, it's getting hard. It is getting real hard now. They want us mostly to be renters. And that is a way, one of the main ways to gain prosperity through renting, through owning property and becoming a business owner. It's hard now to actually that, like I said, and our credit scores are low. So not only that, they put in your credit scores, they trying to guarantee you into being a renter forever. Let me go to,
Hey,
let's go to,
Shalaki,
go ahead.
wanted to bring out Ecclesiastes 2, verse 18 and 19, based on what you were talking about, leaving things behind
Come.
for another generation.
It is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 2, verse, you said 18 and 19?
Con,
Well, you gotta say con.
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 Oh,
Con. Yeah, I hated my labor, which I had taken under the sun, because I should leave it unto the man that shall be after me. And who knoweth whether he shall be a wise man or a fool? Yet shall he have rule over all my labor wherein I have labored, and wherein I have shewed myself wise under the sun. This is also vanity.
Con. So this is Solomon in his state of realizing everything is vanity, vanity upon vanity, right? Working hard and building riches, you're going to end up leaving it to somebody and you don't know it, like you were saying, if they're going to end up losing everything you built because they didn't pay the taxes, they didn't pay the
Con,
mortgage, they didn't do what they were supposed to do, and all the labor of man, as Solomon pretty much said, is all vanity. Um, and this is why it came down to the conclusion, right? What's the conclusion? Fear God and keep His commandments, right? It doesn't mean you don't um, build wealth and build up and leave an inheritance for your children's children. But the ultimate thing after you do all of that um, is not to bask in your glory and riches, but to fear God and keep His commandments. Because you don't
con,
know the child, right? You could be raising up wicked children, right?
con,
You builded righteous things and a righteous kingdom, and then you got some wicked children behind you who just kind of did everything they were doing to destroy everything you built. So this is why it comes down also going back to train up a child,
con,
right? Everything kind of just comes together. You have to train up the child, so you train them up so they don't grow up to be wicked.
con,
You don't treat them, um, you don't treat the boys like girls and treat the girls like boys. Then they grow up with a off spirit. The boys are now effeminate, the girls are masculine. Is all kind of crazy things happening in the world today. So you got to train them up in righteousness, the righteousness of the Most High God, not the morals of this world, right? Not about, oh, you need to do this and that shows you love God. Baking a cake every day, that shows you love God. Making up your bed, that shows you love God. No, keeping His commandments shows you love God, right?
con,
But everything comes together, man. I yield.
con. And it's funny that you said that story because I had something like that happen in real life. My grandfather had passed away. So my mother and her sisters was like, we gonna give the house to my uncle. Now my uncle never worked, trying to be a hustler, it didn't work out. Right. So I think after, let's call it 7 years, the house was lost. Right. So we go over there, like, getting what we can out of it. So my mother was talking to my uncle and she was like, you just lost this house. And he was like, the words came out of his mouth. Me and him actually fell out for a minute. He was like, what y'all talking about? It's just the house. And I'm like, saying to him, man, my grandfather went to work over 35 years, man, and that's gone. You don't realize he went to work sometimes when he didn't even want to. And you just let it go like it was nothing. But after a while, like you said, I realized his mind wasn't right. So he didn't take in the he didn't realize, like, his father put a lot of work. He went to work every day. A lot of us go to work every day when you don't want to take care of something. For it just to be destroyed like it was never there.
Khan, Khan, Shalaki King. And that is a powerful thing to remember. And when you don't have skin in the fight, or skin in the game, or horse in the race, so to speak, and some things come to you without any sacrifice, it's never appreciated.
Con,
He didn't work a day for it. He didn't shovel the snow around it and did whatever it needed to do to get it. He didn't have to save up for months and years and did, like you said, work on days he didn't want to get it. And once you don't have any skin in the fight, any horse in the race, anything that cost you anything, it's never something that's appreciated. In a situation where David had numbered Israel and God had now made judgment upon Israel and sent a plague and was killing people. And David say, hey, listen to this, call out to this dude, hey, let me get the field, because this is where the angel right now is, whatever. Let me get this field so I can make sacrifices. And the guy was like, man, David, you know how we are. You're King David. I give you the field. And David was like, nah, 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 I can't take this. I ain't taking um I'm not going to give nothing to God that didn't cost me nothing. So even in the things you give unto the Most High, if it didn't cost you nothing, it's like, did you really give him anything? It didn't. You didn't go into your pocket. You didn't work for that. It's like you just took it out. Somebody put it in your pocket, and you just took it out your pocket. It didn't cost you nothing. But if you worked for it, like, and goes into also the story of the woman with the alabaster box. That cost her something heavy. That was over a year's salary that she broke and didn't go doll herself up. She poured it on his feet. And once it costs you something, it becomes a sacrifice. But when you're given something that you didn't sacrifice for, it becomes nothing. Even the Most High don't even really want that. Go ahead, King. Are you?
Let's go to Matthew 25. Let's start at 14, and we're going to go all the way to 30.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 25, starting at verse 14, when you got to say, Con. Con. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, and every man according to his several ability. And straightway took his journey. And then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. And likewise, he that had received 2, he also gained other 2. But he that had received 1 went digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Verse 22, he also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside. Keep going.
Yeah, go all the way to 30. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's 30. Salaki. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. Then he which had received that 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knowest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received mine own you with usury. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which have 10 talents. For unto every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that have not shall be taken away, even that which he hath. And
Well,
cast.
that's it. That's all I want. I wanted to show that part because he rewarded the first two guys who had the 10 and the 2. He rewarded those 2 guys for not being selfish and scary to invest. They took the talents and the one guy, he doubled the 5. The second guy doubled the 2. The one guy was nervous to lose it, which was like wasn't even his, but he hid it. And you see what he called him? He called him slothful and wicked. Because I see this as a lot of times you know how we are scared to invest. People say this is risky and this is this and that's evil. That fear to do things, a lot of times it holds us back. If a lot of times, what do they say? What's on the other side of fear? Gratefulness. What they say, no risk, there's no reward. So the guy who was scared with the one talent, he thought he did a good job by burying it in the dirt. And you see how he said, no, you evil and the wicked. You were fearful to take that money out. You didn't even want to try. You didn't even give it a try. And that's a lot of things with us in investing. A lot of us, we so scared, we don't even want to try it. And you realize, like I said, it was a small amount. That wasn't even it is risk, but there's a small risk. You can get that one thing back. So I wanted to point that out. With us as a people, sometimes we're so fearful to invest, we lose out being fearful. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things if we all remember, sometimes riding a bike, how was you fearful? And I'm gonna tell you the thing with me. You remember, well, I don't know, I can't speak for all of us, riding a bike and your father or your mother hold that back part and then they let it go. You just riding and riding and riding. You don't even know they didn't let the bike go because you got that comfort. You think their hand is still on there. And what happens sometimes when you look back, you riding and you notice that hand fall. What happened? You fall. That's what I say. A lot of times it's that risk we scared of. But a lot of times, same thing, like a lot of us don't swim. But swimming, once you learn how to do it, you get past that fear. Fear holds up a lot of things with us. And one of the main things is investing, putting some towards some, because a lot of times that fear, we hear from people that was in front of us, oh, invested in the stock market, you'll lose. There is a chance for risk, but what do you do with any risk? You got to research it. You got to look into it. Start small. Because what happens when you fall? Oh, now you learn. Like I said, when you fall on a bike, okay, well, shit, I got to do this different this time. Okay, when I'm climbing the tree, I slipped. I got to put my hand up here, grab on the hole. You learn a lot of times for failure. I'll put it this way. This is the best thing, the thing with fear. When babies learn to walk, they really have no fear of falling. A baby can fall 100 times, but it's going to keep trying to walk because a baby does not have that fear of falling. Imagine if a baby had that fear, they'll never walk. That fear is not in their mind. What do they do? They keep trying, they keep pulling until they learn how to walk. And that's that same thing with our finances. We have to get past that fear. That fear is that ultimate deterrent. Let's go to Revelations. No, let's go to Proverbs 21 and 17.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 17. When you got it, say Khan.
God.
He that loveth pleasure shall be a poor man. He that loveth wine and oil shall not be rich.
Now, when it say he that loves pleasures, how many times some of us didn't, went to the casino, spent your whole money betting on football games? Sometimes in our younger years, what we do, buy clothes. What do the youth do now? Buy these $1,200 shoes and all that. When you love that, in the end, what happens? You
Yo,
I like it. So, okay, yeah, I guess that's his screen that froze.
You froze up. Yeah, I think that was his friend. Everybody else can hear. Can everybody else hear? Have you froze for
Come on.
everybody?
Lock it.
You might have to call him, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm calling
Yeah.
right now. He'll be on. Hold on.
I'm back. I don't know what happened. The call must have dropped or something like that. Um, read that scripture over one more time. Let me Proverbs 21:17. Let me.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 17. He that loveth pleasure shall be a poor man. He that loveth wine and oil shall not be rich.
Okay, like I was saying, how many times, like especially the youth today, what do they buy those Balenciagas or whatever those shoes called? 14, 1300, $500 jeans and all that.
Mm.
Those pleasures, those wicked pleasures, mind you, a lot of times wind up. You see grown men with those, no money in that pocket, wind up poor, because a lot of times those jeans that next year they got another pair of jeans that costs more. They got another pair of shoes that cost more. It also say, what's that wine and oil? How many times you see a lot of our people love to drink it all day long. It's 11, 12 o'clock in the day. Some of these guys drunk this early in the day. You're not going to have anything. You're not going to build wealth that way. You're not going to be financially secure that way. You spend your money on frivolous things. And I'm not saying don't go out and don't spend your money on nothing. Just like we all say, there's a balance to it. You're not going to go out, take your check. If your check is $1,500, you're going to spend $1,300 on clothes. That don't add up when you got these other responsibilities. See, a lot of those things cause our financial woes as a people. Those things cause those financial woes. Instead of taking that investment, or even, like I said, saving for that rainy day, saving for something. I was told this. They told me every dollar you earn is supposed to be like a bird dog. That $1 is supposed to go out and bring you another dollar back. You're supposed to put your money to work. Your money is your employee. You're supposed to send your money out to go bring me 2 or 3 of you. And then when it comes back to 2 or 3, now you got that to spend something. Okay, I'm gonna take this one employee to buy this, but this other y'all go out and bring 2 more of you back. That's what do they call money? Is what do they call it? Currency. If a current ain't moving, what is it? It's dead. So your money is supposed to be moving just like a currency. That's what it's called. It's supposed to keep moving. When it's sitting still, it's in that dead state. And I know I said saving, but that's just to start out till you get to something that moves your money, that you're putting it in where it's doing something for you. That's the start of the whole thing of your money. Let's go to Revelations 2 and 9.
You probably on mute, Ak. Yazian.
What is it again, Salaki?
Revelations 2 and 9.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 9. What you got to say, Con?
Yeah.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
That's
And
the
I
main
know,
point I wanted. That's the main point I wanted. He's saying he know our works. All the stuff we do down here in America, working or whatever, he know our poverty. But he said we rich because our payment comes in the end. Our riches don't come here. Because a lot of times with our people, when we get rich here, what happens? We fall off. How we our eyes don't be on the prize. Just imagine, you got to think like, what if some of us came into $10 million? Would you be that same person you are now? Would you be living some of the same way? Would you be humble with it? Would you give some of that to the congregation? Would you build us up as a people? Or would you take that 10 million and be into yourself or go partying? So sometimes that money can be a curse. It don't always have to be a blessing. And just like we read with the drinking, what if somebody had $10 million? I'm gonna get the best liquors. I'm gonna get this. I'm drinking champagne every day. Just imagine some of us. Sometimes when you without and you get, you don't be that same person. You become a whole different person sometimes. So sometimes we pray for money. You don't want that. How Biggie says, more money, more problems. It was Eric Dickerson did an interview. He was like, when you got a lot of money, what he said, people was coming to his house saying things like this: "Oh, if I fall, I'm gonna sue you. If I bump my head here, I'm gonna sue you." There's a lot of problems come with being rich that we don't, that we as normal people we don't even see. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't save or prepare or start a business not to be well off. There is nothing wrong with being well off. There is nothing wrong with investing in the stocks, learning how to invest in the stocks. There is nothing wrong with learning how Bitcoin works. Even if you want to invest in like silver, there are several investments that you can do to be well off. There is nothing wrong with being well off or comfortable. A lot of times our mindset, we want that, what's that, champagne riches. We want to live the life of the rich and famous. But a lot of times we gotta realize that's just TV. You don't really see behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, they withhold those things from us. We ain't getting that real take of you got to worry about your lawyer cheating. You got to worry about this. Somebody coming in your mansion, robbing you. There's a lot of things come with being a multi-millionaire. But like I say, once again, there's nothing wrong with being well off. There's nothing wrong with starting, if you want to start your own business and be your own boss and live sufficient. Sometimes that is the perfect life. Now let's go to Revelations 3 and 17.
This is Revelation chapter 3 and verse 17 when you got to say, "Con."
God.
Con. Because thou sayest, I am rich and increased with goods, and have need of nothing, and knowest not that thou art wretched, and miserable, and poor, and blind, and naked.
Just because you have riches, that don't mean problems don't come with it. Just because you got everything in order, you think, are you rich and you got all that? Sometimes destruction is coming to you. How do you handle it? Like we say, are you living in this truth? Are you doing everything the Most High wants you to do? So sometimes that's the question we got to ask ourselves. So I want to end on the scriptures, and I want to say some of the parts that's just financial. I went into some of our financial woes and how we got on them with Job.
Hey,
But I think, go ahead.
before you change, I wanted to bring out Luke 16, 19, I guess 19 to 31.
And this is the book of Luke, chapter 16, starting at verse 19 when you got to say, "Con."
God.
Con, there was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously
There.
every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels unto Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. And in hell he lift up his eyes, being in torment, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father, Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art tormented. And beside all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass to us that would come from thence. Then he said, I pray thee, therefore, Father, that thou wouldest send him to my father's house. For I have 5 brethren that I may testify unto them, lest they also come into this place of torment. Abraham said unto him, They have Moses and the prophets, let them hear them. And he said, Nay, Father Abraham, but if one went unto them from the dead, they will repent. And he said unto him, If they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rose from the dead.
God, this is a, goes into more than just the riches, but just like you said, you do the rich man, like you read in the Revelation, thou art wretched and naked, right? This guy was rich and he was living that good life. He didn't even care about Lazarus. Lazarus was by his gate, dogs licking his womb. He living that good life. But just like the scripture says, I know thy works and thy tribulation, but thou art rich. When the poor man died, who took him up? Angels took him up. When the rich man died, it just says he was buried. Angels come to pick him up, right? So yeah, it's good to have that wealth, but the greatest thing is the wealth of the Most High, right? Following what the Most High say. And even if you were tormented in this life, you're not going to be tormented in the next life, right? Who did that rich man leave all of that wealth to? Right? His family was also in the same tormented place. Or, well, pretty much he know his brothers would end up in the same tormented place as he was, as he is in, because his brothers literally, live in that same lifestyle. So he's like, hey, he want actually Lazarus to come and work for him, like if he's still rich. He's like, Abraham, tell Lazarus to do this. Like he could call shots. No, you ain't calling no more shots. Lazarus is now being comforted. You ain't calling Lazarus to do no work for you now, right? You got what you got because of how you lived. You didn't care about your brother. You didn't care about your neighbors. You didn't care about the poor of your community, of your nation. But now you want to act like you're so caring, and you want to save your brothers. Nah, Abraham dropped it like hard and cold, right? And Abraham brought in some heavy things there. Even if someone rose from the dead, Christ rose from the dead, they still ain't want to hear. The prophets are there, they still ain't want to hear. So yeah, this is a cool rich man story. The other one is with the man who built big barns and says, hey, I built all of this stuff. I'm gonna lay back and live that lavish lifestyle because I got so much now in storage. I got so much in the bank. I got so much that I heaped up. and he died the very next day. So
God, I remember that.
yeah, the best thing is to live rich in the Most High, man. I yield, King.
God. Now, part of this, I want to get into how do we build each other. Now, I'm going to talk like a little bit, what we do here in the city of Detroit. We have like a cash app that we got, right? So now we haven't been doing it lately, but every Sabbath we put in what we can. Like I can speak like this for last Passover. We knew it was coming. We started saving as a unit. Started saving. So when the Passover came, technically we didn't have to come out of our pockets because we already had everything saved for the car, for the rooms, for the Passover. It made things a lot easier. And I think sometimes as a people, we have to start building with each other. And I'm not saying that you got to put in $100. Sometimes brothers was putting in 10. It's not about the amount. It's about a lot of times it's about the start. It's about the build. It's about getting that consistent flow. And I think us as a people, that's how we grow. That's how we build. We start with each other. We start small. Maybe we start in one city and another city sees what we're doing, they start. Then as HOR, we have a national pot that we all put in. And that builds. So when anything comes up, like I said, we reach out. If somebody expertise is in the land, okay, we go to that person. We got X amount of dollars up, we ready to buy land. That way, like when Tabernacles come, we have a universal spot that we all can go through. Or we even have like basically we become our own bank. So when one of us falls short, okay, well, listen, the group of 5 brothers, you got to go to them, see what they say. If you're short on your rent or whatever, go to them and they work that thing out. Okay, well, you got to go to them. We got our little money stored up that we've been doing for 6 months. And like I always say, I don't know a lot of you brothers, man, online, when I think I preached this like last year. If we got 12 cities and every city saves $100 in 12 months, that's 12,000 we got. That's doable. That is doable. I believe can become our own bank. We can come financially secure with each other. So that way, we're not scrambling to the end to pay for an event. Every event, we pay for it bits and pieces ahead of time. That's our own saving. So this part of the finance, I wanted to, like hear any other ideas, or if any brother has investment ideas, we can bring it to the forefront. Because if we in this with each other, let's build. Let's believe in each other. Let somebody who has a nice plan bring that floor plan up front. We go over the ideas. Okay, well, maybe we can tinker it this and that. And we invest in our own. And I'm not saying, I'm going to say this, the other nations do it. I ain't speaking on that, but that's how we start. That's how in the 60s, how do you think Black Wall Street, even here in Detroit, Black Bottom, it started small and then it moved out and it grew. That's what I believe we can do. And even if it's not invested in something, that way we got events that we all put in. It's taken care of ahead of time. Just show up. So I yield on that. If any brothers got anything in the forefront, they got any investments they want to bring out front, or any plans that they have, or any ideas they think can be successful.
Yeah.
Anybody, throw an idea up, man. You never know. Maybe somebody on here that's they work in that field. Like I say, I'm in the real estate, and I got some properties, and I reached out to the nation. I found the plumber. I found the electrician, just reaching out. We have to work within each other. We got all the tools here. We just got to use each other. Let me rephrase that. We don't use is a bad word. We have to find each other and work with each other to get these things completed. So if anybody got anything in the forefront they want to bring out or say, the floor is open.
Salakia. Salakia.
Go ahead.
I don't have a lot to give, but whatever I can give to, what you just said to build, our finances, whatever, I'm willing. I ain't got no problem with it. I give as much as I can. I don't have, like I said, I don't have a lot to give, but I give as much as I can, to build this thing up. Cause, I understand what you're saying, cause, like you saying nationally, hey, that way we don't have to pay for, as long as we got, our bank, up to status, we don't have to pay for a lot. We don't have to come out a lot out of our pockets. That way, when we have these events like Passover, Tabernacle, dedication, it don't cost that much, because we already got bank. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you 100%. I get on that. Slack it.
Con. Anyone else, or I don't know how many people on the call, or on the class, rather. Any ideas? Anybody got a project they need somebody to back them with, or thinking about, or anybody needs some, maybe help financially, or somebody to come up with some ideas how to put them in a better spot. Like I said, I had if you got a bunch of credit card bills or whatever, I suggest the avalanche to get you out of that. Like I said, you start with the smallest amount and you work your way up. You pay the minimum on the other bills. You knock out that smallest one, so that way it gives you that sense of victory. Then you move to the next one. Then you move to the next one. Before you know it, if you're paying off every bill every month, now you got your money freed up to work with, to do what you want. Mm-hmm.
Those are some great ideas to reduce bills. Like you said, a lot of times the bills kind of can frustrate you and put you in a different type of mindset. And if you are able to knock them off one by one, it does bring a level of comfort and gratification. So that avalanche system is a really good system. Instead of just oh man, I'm just frustrated. I can't even pay nothing. Now take the smallest battle, if you want to call it that,
Yeah.
and you win that battle, and it's gonna be like, okay, I think I can actually win other battles. In terms of finance, um, there's a lot of systems out there, a lot of things people can do to get themselves into another flow, right? A lot of times we kind of try to stick with what we know because what we know is easy. We stay in that comfort zone, right? But when it comes to really making money and being financially on another level, you have to get out of your comfort zone, right? You have to shake a few things in you to kind of change your mindset. If you only think about making money in the sense of I'm going to make money by going on this job, spending 8 hours a day, and every week I'm gonna get $800 when I work 40 hours a week, and I just gotta work for another 3 to 15 years, and then I'm gonna get this much money, right? Anybody who is wealthy would tell you that a job does not get you rich.
Con.
The only thing a job gets you is for you to pay your bills. right? What gets you rich is going outside of yourself, doing things that, you know, if you have to always spend time to gain money, you're never really going to gain money because you can only spend so much time in one day,
Con,
right? The people who are wealthy, they invest in real estate, they invest in stocks, they invest in bonds, they invest in people who are smarter than them. So they may not have no ideas, and they're gonna put their money to people who have ideas and have plans. What do you think Shark Tank is about?
con,
Shark Tank is about guys who got money, they making money, but they ain't really got no more ideas. So they investing in people who coming up in Shark Tank and saying, "Hey, I got an idea and I got a plan and I got this business and it can make so much more money." And then they'll be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, let's put some more money towards that because I can see this can make more money." How come the sharks didn't come up with those ideas? Because they don't have any ideas. They got money,
con,
right? So a lot of times we don't know as a people the things that the Most High put in us, right? When the Most High said, you know, I know your trials and your tribulations and all of this type of stuff, but thou art rich. Yeah, we're rich. We're the salt of the earth. I saw a damn Japanese Chinese choir sounding like if they're Brooklyn Mass Choir, a bunch of black people. But this is all Chinese people.
con,
They trying to sing like us. You know, I saw a wedding video with this Ishmaelite or whatever Indian woman rapping like she's a gangster rapper. And I'm like, listen, man, we're the salt of the earth. And the reason why Pharaoh did not want us to get up out of the land, right? It's not just because he was so scared that we're going to join some other nation and fight against him, but we're the ones who was making them rich.
con,
Our skills, just our presence brings a difference in an environment, right? So we don't know exactly how gifted, we don't understand the blessing that the Most High has put in our hand, right? If you read the book Black People Invented Everything, you realize that the majority of inventions in this world, right, good inventions, was made by us.
con,
And a lot of the inventions were made while we were in bondage,
con,
right? We were in slavery, right? We were making and creating inventions that our slave masters stole.
con.
But a lot of times we just don't believe in ourselves. When the scripture says, I can do all things or we can do all things in through Christ, it's the truth.
Shalakiak, you got to think like this. Everything we've been in slavery was to make that easier. Why would Esau invent anything? Because he getting us to do it. We invent things to make the job easier.
God,
You know, the
God,
pencil sharpener. We invented that to make it easier. The washing machine, the elevator to make things. We do things to make anything we come up with easier.
God, more efficient.
There you go.
God,
So they wouldn't have invented. There's no need for them to invent it because they're not doing the work we are.
exactly, exactly. So, you know, we definitely have to understand that, especially now that we're coming back to the Most High, the laws, the statutes, and commandments, right? We're going to be able, as the scripture tells us in Deuteronomy 28, you know, what you put your hands to is going to be blessed,
God,
right? It's going to be blessed. You're going to do things and you're going to create things and you're going to create better and more efficient ways to do things. And it's all inside of you. That's who we are as a people. It's inside of us. But we try to stick and stay in our zone. We try to stay, well, as a female, I just do hair. No, that's not all you can do. You can do more than here. You can do here and be a real estate mogul. right? You can do here and be a jewelry creator, inventing all kind of crazy, wonderful jewelry. You can do anything you put your hands to. It's going to succeed, but we just need to put our hands to different things. Right now, you know, um, the AI stuff right now, everybody and their grandmother is trying to figure out and learn AI. That's a good thing to jump into because that is going to draw a lot of money to itself, right? Just start learning things every day. Get off that social media, get off that TikTok and Facebook, and spend time every day learning something new in AI, right? Don't be like, AI stuff, that computer stuff. Nah. If you start learning it today, by the end of the month, you're going to understand some terminologies you never knew about before. But you have to start. A lot of times we think, well, I try to do that thing and I didn't understand nothing, man. So I stopped. No, of course you ain't going to understand nothing. It's new.
Yeah, okay.
It's new. If I go today and start to try to be an accountant, I ain't gonna know crap about accounting, right? It's a different language. They're gonna speak and say certain things, and I'm not gonna know what they're talking about. But guess what? If I do it every day, I'm gonna start realizing, oh, that terminology, oh, that's what that means. Oh, that's what that means. And it becomes easier, right? You can
Familiar.
learn, you can become familiar. If you want to start learning about the stock market, start watching stock market videos of people teaching about the stock market on YouTube, right? By the end of the month, you'll be like, oh, that's what they mean by a bull, and that's what they mean by this and that and the other. That's what a call means. That's what a put means. This was what this, and you'll be like, oh, that's the terminologies they're talking about, right? A lot of times these industries speak a different language because they don't want everybody in
True,
it.
true, and that's what it is.
And guess
So,
what? The thing about us getting involved in stuff, we always dominate. But we a
Con,
lot of times try to focus on the sport, and the music. But anything you get involved in, what the hell do you think Tiger Wolf is all about? I mean, what's his name? Tiger
Tiger
Woods,
Woods.
right? A black man dominating golf. We don't play. We were just the ones carrying the damn
con,
bags. We were just the ones carrying the damn bags. But now we start playing golf, and it's like this dude is better than everybody else playing golf. We just got to get involved in it. We just got to move past that fear, right? The scripture says he did not give us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. So what are you talking about? What are you scared about? Ain't nothing to be scared about because with
con,
that fear, it didn't come from the Most High. Huh?
God.
con. The other side of fear is reward. Like they say, with great risk comes great reward. What's this the saying they got? Go big or go home.
Huh?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, don't hold back. Don't think I'm too old or I'm not smart enough or I didn't finish college or I'm too young. You know this, that, and just stop putting blocks in your way, man. You're the only one putting up blockages in your way.
Con.
You're building more walls than Trump. Stop putting them walls in your way, man. Just see it, knock that wall down. If it's technology, don't be afraid of technology. Just start watching a video, right? Watch the video and you'll be surprised what you're going to do and how the thing is just going to open up to you and you'll just end up dominating it because that's who we are.
Con.
We
Nobody turned
dominate.
a bad situation into a good situation like we do.
Exactly. Exactly.
You can
We
put us
had,
in the worst situation and we gonna
bro,
flip it.
the clothes we wear, even if it's busted and disgusted, it becomes fashion.
Con.
You know, the fashion industry start making holes in their jeans because Jake was wearing jeans with holes in it,
God,
right? They literally now making pants that hang off your ass
God.
because Negroes is wearing pants that hanging off their ass.
Keeping your boots untied. We started that.
There you go. There you go. We are the salt. Whatever you do, people gonna copy it. We are just the ones who don't know how great we are. Nah,
Salaki,
man. Go
Salaki,
ahead, King.
Salaki. You know, I've been listening to what you guys been saying, and very good knowledge. You know, it's like, okay, um, Melchizedek, you know, he's been talking about the investments in housing and stuff like that. That's great. That's great. We need that. We need that. Me myself, been involved with, a lot of different talents, as far as like music is one thing, but growing foods is another thing. You know, I did a class like I think it was early part of this year, as far as growing foods in your house and outside. You know, because I know Melchizedek talking about, we talked about earlier about, surviving, out here, a lot of people don't know how to grow food. A lot of people don't even know how to even buy food. They go buy garbage, junk food, and think that's going to help them survive, keep them healthy. And it's not, so, you know, one day I'm gonna probably put together another class. Like I said, I did a class early this part of the year, HI Detroit, about growing food inside the house and outside the house. I'll probably do another class put together, a class, to teach people how to grow food inside the house and outside. It's a lot of foods you can grow inside the house that grows outside, that you can grow inside the house, and it's cheap, it ain't no, and it's not a very expensive thing to do, and a lot of people, think, okay, well, growing food, it takes a lot of work. It really don't. You could take a 5 gallon bucket and throw some topsoil and compost in it, and and grow you some strawberries, some collard greens, some green beans, some corn. It's a lot of food that you can grow inside your house that you don't have to go outside, and you can grow all year long, even in the wintertime, as long as you got some sunshine coming through your window. And I didn't even know that, so, you know, uh, it's a lot of knowledge out here that our people don't know, that is very simple knowledge that, we can, because a lot of people think you got to have a garden out in your backyard. You really don't. I mean, you can grow, like I said, you can grow food inside your house. It's really simple. You don't need a whole lot of ingredients. You can grow from germinations. A lot of people don't know about germination, growing food from the seed. A lot of people don't know about it. It's really simple. And so I guess probably sometime this winter, I'll, probably, hopefully I can do a class, on the Zoom class, and do, put together a class where, where we can grow food inside our house and outside the house. You mean it's like foods that you can grow in the fall, before the winter breaks, when it's, it's snow, it's really like 32, 40 degrees, where, you like collard
Con,
green,
con, King. Con, I don't want us to stray too much away from the topic of the class, right?
uh-huh.
The growing of the food and stuff is good, but the brother is trying to teach on how to make money and investments.
Yeah, I
And
understand
those
that.
those, those things are really good, but it's kind of straying away from the topic of the class a little bit. And definitely, we're gonna be happy for you to do a class on those things,
Okay.
right? So, but yeah, I think we're straying away a little bit away from the topic, right? And so I want us to kind of stay on topic in terms of um, letting people know that they can make money doing different things
Okay.
and make investments or savings or different ways for us to invest in different ideas that can make money, right?
Okay.
And I'm not saying the stuff that you're saying is not valuable; it's very valuable, right? But I just want us to stay on the topic of how to invest, how to save, how to pay our bills, how to learn something new that can make us more um, financially sound,
Okay.
right? Because a lot of us, every so often, some family or brother or sister, calls out to the nation that, hey, I'm stuck. I need to pay a bill and I don't have any money and I need everybody to help and chip in. And we want to do certain things where many of us are in that position to help others get that financial bailout when they need to, and even help those people who are financially strapped
Con.
to step up to the next level so that they're also the ones who is helping people who are financially strapped.
Okay, con. I understand exactly what you're saying, but let me say this: you can grow food, sell it.
Con,
It
con.
can be a finance. It can be a finance. You can grow food and sell it, and it can be a finance.
I
So,
totally agree with you. And in fact, I was looking at a program to purchase about a year ago where these people were teaching people how to grow greens, right? It's like greens they use in juices in those juice stores. And you could literally grow it on racks inside of your bedroom or house or whatever and sell it to grocery stores and things like that.
con, con.
So I'm not, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying what you're saying is irrelevant. So don't think that's what I was saying.
Okay.
Con. Salaki, what people now are growing or selling? Mushrooms. So that can be flipped a certain way because people, what is what's the mushroom, a popular mushroom, the blue oyster mushrooms, and what's the lion's mane?
Right.
The lion's mane is the big deal now. People eating lion's mane. So that also, like I say, when I was telling people bring out, what if you start growing lion's mane and start selling that?
Salaki. I even got a remedy that you can grow mushrooms from newspaper and a crate. You can grow You can grow mushrooms from a newspapers.
See, I ain't know that, but
Yeah, yeah.
there is a financial, like I say, not everybody on that mushroom kick. That you can start selling the mushrooms now. You know what I mean? They making mushroom coffee, everything mushroom. It's a mushroom that I've seen. It's called chicken of the woods,
Uh-huh.
where it tastes like chicken and it's replacing chicken.
Right.
So you can like financially do that because food, as long as humans on Earth, people gonna eat. So that
So
is a way to make money.
so
You
so,
just got to learn how to turn it in to start selling it.
Salaki, they even got a mushroom that's called a saga mushroom. It's not grown over here in United States, but it's grown over in China and Japan. It's called a saga mushroom. It also heals AIDS. A lot of people don't know that.
Well, there you go. That's a way to make money. If we
Exactly.
start growing things and you can distribute that, you know what I mean? Instead of us going to a grocery store, there's your way to make money. That's what I say when these ideas should come out. Because we have a lot of talented people, like the brother was saying. We just got to put these things out there.
Con, con. I got you. Con.
Like I say, if you can grow, start showing some things and maybe people can invest.
Con,
or not even invest, or like you say, if you instead of going to the store, okay, well, I'm going to ship it to you.
con, con,
So
So,
there is ways to make money, but you just got to learn how to put it to the forefront. That's
con,
all.
con.
so Zephaniah, are you currently growing things at your place?
Well, tomatoes. I'm growing tomatoes.
And are you planning on selling them, or are you planning on just using them for yourself?
Well, right now, I'm just using it for myself because it's just a small amount. So,
So what has hold you back from like stepping out and going to grocery stores and showing them your tomatoes?
well, right now I'm in a small place, so I can't grow a whole lot of foods. So, I'm in a 1 bedroom apartment. So I'm just growing. I grow some tomatoes. I picked some tomatoes out of a garden, and I got them sitting up my window now. They turn red, and I use them for for foods, the foods that I cook and stuff like that. But I'm growing some like tomatoes right now. Um, I don't have a lot of room. I get the east sun, you know, in my window, and I can grow, like tomatoes. I got foods that I know the foods that I can grow, but I just don't have the resources or the money to actually, you know, grow these foods and stuff like that. You know, uh, but like I want to start growing strawberries. You can grow strawberries in your house. You can grow like collard greens in your house, kale in your house. I just don't have. I'm in an apartment building, so I don't really have the resources to.
Salakia, you got it. You just got to open your mind up. You
Right.
got four other
Exactly.
brothers in the city, in your city, that you can be like, listen, I need to use your apartment to grow these other tomatoes. You got
Okay.
four other brothers that you can, and there go your bushel of tomatoes that we can sell.
Kind.
So what
Kind.
I would recommend, right? The greens is actually stuff you can grow. You could buy these like shelves. So it's like you have about 8 shelves in this little rack, and each shelf you can have a little container growing green, and it's actually something that really sells. It does not take a whole lot of space because you can have like I said, a rack that has multiple shelves on it, and each shelf is growing green. And the thing about the greens is that the turnaround time from seedling to maturity is really quick, right? It's going to be faster than growing strawberries and tomatoes because strawberries, tomatoes, all of these things are very delicate. When you pick it, you got to store it properly so they don't get bruised and things like that. The greens, you don't have those types of issues with, right? So I would recommend, since you are into growing stuff, look into growing greens because those things you can sell to the grocery stores, the juice stores, the restaurants, all of those types of places. You can go and market your product to them. And the turnaround time, like I said, is pretty quick. So if you have that knowledge of growing, yeah, go down that path.
Kind. Kind.
And so, like, that's what we're saying. I see this conversation. We didn't learn, like I say, you got other people you can grow. And like the brother was saying, eat a quicker fix to a food to grow just by opening up that small conversation. You know what I mean?
Kind. Gosh, I'm going to take
Oh,
everything that y'all
Recording
said.
in progress.
I'm going to take everything that y'all said in perspective. You know, and you know, and like I said, I've been doing a little small things here in my apartment, and I'm gonna, try to expand it, because like you said, because it helped me financially, you know, and because I'm a poor man over here. I need I need some extra money somewhere, because hey, I'm gonna
Yeah.
take what y'all saying. I
So
appreciate I appreciate the knowledge. And, that's what I love about these classes because I really appreciate the knowledge, man. Because
yeah. So a lot of times, and again, this is one of the things I was saying. A lot of times we stick with what we know, but that's not a bad thing,
time,
right? But you can still always expand. Like you've been growing tomatoes, and you consider growing strawberries, but the greens is actually financially lucrative.
time,
So you're not going to be able to grow enough tomatoes to actually sell to a grocery store or
time.
sell to a
Yeah,
restaurant.
yeah, time,
But
exactly.
the greens, you can actually do that from your one bedroom apartment,
Right.
right? And yeah, and I'm sure you guys have a lot of local restaurants in Detroit, a lot of grocery stores, a
A
lot
lot.
of juice bars, right? And you could definitely, the turnaround time for growing greens is very short, right? It's actually something I was looking into because they this guy was doing a class. Right now everybody and their mama is teaching you how to do something,
Con, con,
right? That's one of the fastest growing industries. Everybody got a master class or whatever on something, right? And this dude was teaching you how to grow greens in your apartment, how to they had a really full system, you know, to really start up and go start selling greens, right? They had a software to tell you, okay, um, after this much time, move this from this level on the shelf to this level, how much light it needs, how to go find clients to sell to. They had a full system. I'm gonna see if I could find that thing again, and I'll share it, because I myself, who don't have a green thumb, it's not that I don't have a green thumb. Growing stuff don't really interest me on that level. But
con,
even when I saw it myself, I was like, oh shit, this doesn't even take a lot of space. This is like one rack or shelves with one rack with multiple shelves on it, and you can have a whole bunch of trays growing this thing. The rack has wheels on it, so you can move it around. It's not like it has to stay in some permanent spot in your place. And the thing grows fast, the maturity is fast, and the turnaround is fast, and you can sell that thing. Restaurants, chefs, grocery stores, juice bars, all of these places use that thing. So
con.
I'll look into that again, man. It's a good thing. And I looked in, I was interested in it because I said, you know what? Because they were saying that even the greens by itself becomes a food that you can eat, and it's very nutritious. So I was like, when Jacob trouble hits, you can't go to the grocery store.
Con,
You
con,
could be literally, growing your own food in your apartment. It doesn't take a whole lot of things to do, and you will still be eating healthy food, fresh, healthy food.
con,
So those were many of the reasons why I was like, this is a great idea. I yield, King.
con. Well, now that we got that done, is anybody else have any, thing that they can do that we can, merge in or find out or express, or you know what I mean? Because us as a people, we got talent, just hands on. We need to help each other out. You know what I mean? Just like the brother off, this is our Shark Tank.
Con.
Well, if no one else has anything, I guess we can end the class off. Like I say, hopefully, it was a little bit edifying, with the, like I say, the budgeting part I brought in, and the scriptures to tie in, like the brother we were saying, our ultimate payoff is getting into the kingdom.
Yeah.
You know, we do want the riches here, but I think it's better to get those riches in the end. You know, there's nothing wrong with living comfortable. Let me say that again. There is nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But sometimes it's that payoff the end when you struggle and you struggle and you struggle and you get that, what's that, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Yeah.
Through the Most High, that's what we want, that pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. So I yield on that. I guess we can end it off with that.
Hey, beautiful lesson, man.
Beautiful.
Much needed lesson, edification, communication. You know, some great points Shemaiah brought out as well too with the Shark Tank. You know, with people having an idea and other people having the money to fund it as well. You know, and there was Zephaniah, you know, with the growing, you know, planting. Yeah, in the real estate, yeah, really. All praises. Good.
Oh, praises.
Yeah, I took some notes.
Well, you know how me and you talk. You know how me and you talk. We go a little deeper too into the financial thing.
Mm-hmm. God. Yeah, I took some notes, man. Got a wedding coming up next year, so you damn right I took some notes.
there it goes. It's time to start saving.
Good.
I want to be there
man.
too.
Good. Y'all's a young the Don Juan.
Hey, those airplane tickets cost. Got to start saving up.
Can't you put that off on me? I'm just a nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody.
Yeah.
That could change anything.
Because I know somebody that knows somebody that told somebody that knows somebody.
How you say? I'm just a man sitting next to the man, sitting next to the man, sitting next to the
write a
man.
song about that.
Right.
I know somebody that knows somebody that knows else. I'm gonna write a song about that, man.
Yeah. God, gangs. So all praises, man. Let's close it out. Reminder again, this Thursday night, it's not Halloween, it's the new moon.
God.
Right? No time to scream like some young teens on the day of Halloween. Check the scene. Right? No doom and gloom because it's the new moon.
Go around collecting candy.
Right. And I'll be collecting scriptures. Damn candy. Yeah. So just a reminder to everybody, you know, all praises and you know, let's keep pushing, man. And you close it out with the Lord's Prayer. Or do you want me to close it out?
Yeah, go ahead, Op. I just, you stand. I'm almost, I learned the little bits and pieces, but I ain't all the way there yet. Give me about 2-3 weeks, Op.
Yeah, you'll get it before then.
Kind.
Step by step.
That's how I'm taking it up.
Every little step I take, pray every day. All right. All praise Yahweh Shem Yahushai B'Shem Rachakadash Shemai Yasharallah Yahweh Allah Hayinawa Yahweh Ahad Abanawa Shabbat Shemayim Kodash Haya Shamka Yahweh Malakovka Thabaa Ratazaka Haya Aisha Ba'arataza Kawa Haya Bashemayim Natananawa Lacham Hayuam Wasalachnawa Chabawafnawa Kasalachnawa Chabawafyanawa Wala'a Tabiyainawa Banasayawan Abal Hawashainawa Mayan Rai Kaya Laka Hamalakwaf Waha'alal Wahatabaraf Walamyam. Amen. We actually, how about Shem Yahushai, please guide us, to protect us, to strengthen us in these times, to also move us in the spirit of righteousness, to do all things in righteousness, to bless us with the spirit of mercy, and also forgiveness, and also to increase us with the spirit of rejoicing throughout our trials and tribulations, through our ups and downs, through our learning and our mistakes. Yahweh Shemel Shai, also to heal those that are sick, heal those that are in need, help those that are in trouble in times that we're in right now. Also to magnify, also to show each and every brother and sister their purpose, Yahweh Shemel Shai, to direct us and to help us to come together in unification as brothers and sisters, as husbands and wives, as neighbors, as loved ones, as a nation, and to move together as a team, Yahweh Shemel Shai.
Salaki.
Amen.
Salaki, and destroy these nations.
I was getting to that.
Okay, yeah.
God. All praise Yahweh Bashim Shai, Bahashim Hakadash, Shalak Rayim, Wa Anashim, Wa Abadim, Wa Haragim, Wa Mashapatim, Alikal Adawamim, Wa Gawamim, Wa Ayabyab Nawa, Babakasha, Tawada Tuwab Awalam. Amen. We ask Yahweh Bashim Yoshai to please bring death and destruction and wrath and righteous judgment against the wicked, against the heathens that come against us, and against these nations that try to oppress us in the times that we're in. And also to bring judgment among these heathens, and also to bring pain and suffering unto them, and also to alleviate of our pain and our suffering in these last days, and to wake up to the truth throughout the four corners of the earth, and to come back to you in the last times that we're in right now, to be ready for Yahweh Shai. The water throw up at Walam. Amen. We also ask you to send death and destruction and curses and wrath against the wicked of the witches, of the people that want to follow in the ways of Halloween, the sorcerers, the wizards, and all the people from the left-hand side, and the spirit of darkness that's trying to destroy us in these times, and to bring confusion as well. The water to what Evalam. Amen. Khan. Oh, yeah, Halloween, man. They throwing curses on us like crazy, like you wouldn't even believe, man. So, we send these curses on these wicked demons, these wicked heathen nations, man, because if you think they ain't throwing curses, especially on their Halloween, which is their highest day for satanic worship, yeah, okay. Day of Sam Hain, boy, stay girded, man. Stay girded, family.
Khan.
Kwame Shalom.
Kwame Shalom.
Let me go start this planting.
I know that's right. Huh?
Good. All praises. Kwame Shalom.
Shalom, family.
Shalom, family.